He thrives on jeopardy.
I don't believe that Virgin could be what it is today if he hadn't have done the boat crossings and the balloon crossings.
We're going to space. I'm Branson, Sir Richard Branson.
Conquering the music industry, travel, and even going to the moon. Richard Branson and his 10 Rules of Greatness. Check him out.
If you're going to have a group of people together, they must be happy people. And if they're going to be happy people, they've got to be led by somebody who is happy themselves, who loves people, who cares generally about people, and who looks for the best in people, who is somebody who doesn't criticize, but who praises and brings out the best in people. So we look for people who are, are great leaders of people because they genuinely care about people, and I think, we're lucky at Virgin. That's the kind of people we've got. To become an entrepreneur is not easy, and a lot of people who try to become entrepreneurs, they fail along the way. But good ones pick themselves up and they try again until they succeed. And what an entrepreneur needs to do first of all is come up with an idea that will make a positive difference to other people's lives. And if you've got an idea that's going to make a positive difference to other people's lives, you've got a chance of building a business. And then you need to get a great group of people around you who believe in what you're trying to do. And then you need to just say, screw it, let's do it, and get on and try it. It sounds easier said than done, and I know how difficult it is. I mean, when I started in business, age 15, I would stand outside concerts, handing out leaflets for a small little mail order company, trying to sell records. And as people sent me in the money, I'd then go and buy the records and then send it to them. So it can be a very hand-to-mouth existence to start up and build a company. But enormously rewarding if you succeed. Not everyone is going to succeed as an entrepreneur, but it's worth giving it a try. Anytime I see that something can be done better, we jump in and we try to create something extraordinarily better than anybody else is doing it. Failure is a wonderful way of learning. If you're not taking risks, you're not going to achieve anything, and sometimes you're going to fall flat in your face. Fortunately, I've learned the hard way sometimes, and we've been successful more often than we've failed. I think you motivate people by genuinely caring about people, by putting your staff first, even ahead of your customers, and by giving them a product that is the best in its field. So give them the tools to do the job properly. So if you have an airline, make sure every single little detail is right in that plane, so that when the staff work on the plane, they're not going to have passengers complaining that that the meat dish is not on board, or the film's no good, or the seat is uncomfortable, or it's dirty, or all the things that can happen. You just got to make sure that you are the best airline flying in the world, and then your staff can be proud of it. They can be smiling, and then the passengers will smile, and you'll have a successful company. I was dyslexic. I had no understanding of schoolwork whatsoever. I certainly would have failed IQ tests, and it's one of the reasons I left school when I was 15 years old. And if I'm not interested in something, I just don't grasp it.
I mean, there's the story about your mother allegedly dumping you in a field at aged 4 and saying, "Okay, walk home." And did this really happen?
I mean, she was, felt that we needed to stand on our own 2 feet from an early age. So she did things to us which now she'd be arrested for. Such as pushing us out of the car and telling us to find our own way to Granny's about 5 miles before we actually got there, and making us go on wonderful long bike rides, and we're never allowed to watch television. I just love learning, and I'm incredibly inquisitive, and I love taking on the status quo and trying to turn it upside down. So I've seen life as one long learning process, and if I see, if I fly on somebody else's airline and find the experience is not a pleasant one, which it wasn't 21 years ago, then I think, well, maybe I can create the kind of airline that I'd like to fly on, and so got one sort of second-hand 747 from Boeing and gave it a go.
I think the next stage is to be a great delegator, and not try to do everything yourself. Try to find people who are better than you all the time. Try to find people who are better than you to put you out of business effectively. So, whatever you're spending all your day doing, try to find someone who's better than you to do that, to replace you at it, so that you can go off and think about the next big picture. An entrepreneur is not a manager. I mean, an entrepreneur is somebody who is great at conceiving ideas, starting ideas, building ideas, but then handing over to really good managers to manage the businesses. The moment you've got more than one business, you can't be hands-on doing everything.
Well, it sounds strange coming from me, because I have put my life at risk on many different occasions and been fortunate to survive. But I do actually enjoy life enormously, and there's a lot more to achieve. And so I think that I will take calculated risks in trying to go to the bottom of the ocean in a little submarine, or going to space, or whatever. But I'll certainly make sure that the crafts are well tested before going next time. Hopefully I can die in my bed an old man one day.
My trip to space was definitely the most incredible 24 hours of my life, and getting that sort of feedback from people who've been on a Virgin voyages, they seem to indicate that that it's been the experience of a lifetime for them.
Richard, I have to ask, do you have any plans of slowing down? It doesn't look like it to me.
I certainly have no wish ever to slow down. Obviously, there will come a time where the body says enough's enough, but I think you really can keep your body like it was when you were in your 20s for much longer than people think.
You said before, real leaders see opportunities where others only see challenges. Explain that.
I look at everything as an opportunity. I'm positive about life generally, and I generally feel that you can find ways of solving problems and making things work. And I'm definitely a sort of glass, nearly full kind of person, rather than a glass half full. So, I think out of being just a generally positive person, you can make positive things happen.
The overarching and key thing that really binds the group together is the idea of not just playing the game, but changing it for good. I think Richard embodies the principles better than anyone I've ever worked with, and anybody that I know, because he's very focused on business, on starting new businesses, on making sure that he's got the right people in the businesses, but also on doing things differently and really changing the game. And I think that it's the combination of those that sets him apart as the great entrepreneur of his generation.
So if you just watched Richard Branson's 10 Rules of Greatness, hopefully you've learned a lot and you can adapt some or one of these rules to your life. So if 10 of them are too much, just take 1 or 2 and start implementing that in your life today. Let me know which rule you're going to start implementing in your life today.